All right, y'all, what's going on? You know who it is, you know what it is. We back with another video, and today, excuse me, we got this debate going on. I guess it's between liberals and conservatives, as usual. What's new? And I don't know who these participants are, or the young lady that's, I guess, debating the whole 20. This is a 20 versus 1. Shout out to Jubilee on this one. But we're gonna look at it and, make some comments.
Name's Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's do it.
I appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most right now for the black community would be...
That's a nice last name, by the way. Matt Nuclear. It's a dope last name. All right. I digress.
The stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we had the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How possible? How?
My man came with the facts. Okay. I'm curious to see what she got to say about that.
They don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other, according to the FBI.
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats.
Pause. So she just said that, I'm guessing, I'm going to finish her part, but I'm guessing what she's trying to explain is that the gentleman made a point to talk about the FBI statistics, and I guess her logic is saying that the FBI is basically lying about those stats. What does the FBI have to gain by lying about those stats? That's my first question. It doesn't make any logical sense. The FBI has no reason to lie about what's the rate of black people killing each other. There's no pro to that. You see what I'm trying to say? Let's just say it was down to 10%. We as a people would obviously see the less violence amongst black people, right? If it was lower, but we see that it's higher. Okay, now maybe she has a case if she says, separated from what's gang related versus just, a typical maybe dispute between the two, whatever. But to sit there and just say, hey, the stats is skewed and his education is wrong because the source he's sourcing is FBI, which, I mean, they've been tracking this thing for years. Why would they lie, right? But I digress. Let's continue.
Stats don't lie. You've already lost the argument. They lie. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people. Before I lose my train of thought, the same case could be made about her. So if she's saying that his stats is wrong, who's to say that her stats isn't wrong and where she's pulling it from? So that's just to keep in mind on that. Who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States, and comparing the continued effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe this?
I'm telling the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth.
I do not feel safe around black people. I'm going to tell you that right now. Listen, they got to have a nice mixture. Okay, let me correct myself. If it's black Americans, I definitely don't feel safe. Okay, especially depending on And I personally, and this will be a video I'll do separate, but I personally break down black people in America into two categories, right? You have the A's and the O's. I do not feel comfortable around A's at all. Okay, period. Now, I can move around them because it's code switching, right? But to me, if I had my choice, I would not live in a neighborhood that's predominantly black. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I wouldn't live in one that's predominantly white. I would prefer a mixture, right? I would prefer, brown, black, white, Asian. I would prefer that. But if I had to choose between the two, I'm not living amongst all Negroes. I'm gonna be honest with you. So that's number one. And I think a lot of people who are black honestly agree with what I'm saying. They just don't want to say it because they're gonna get shunned and blacklisted from the black community because they're gonna be quote a what's the word they use, Uncle Tom or whatever. But the stats don't lie. We as a black people, as a race, we kill each other far more in far greater numbers. I am more at jeopardy by being harmed and or deleted by somebody that looks like me, right, than the opposite. The reason why we get into arms and people get emotionally triggered when it's white and black is because of the history of this country, which is understandable, right? But at the same time, you got to realize you got to read in between the lines. This media is going to sit there and show a white cop doing something to a black man or a white cop doing something to a black woman, and that's going to trigger you. But they don't show where the black cop does something to a black man or black woman, or where the white cop does something to a white man or woman, right? It's you have bad apples in every bunch. The Bible says straight out, you can't get sweet and bitter wine from the same bottle. Okay, so it doesn't matter really if what the color is. It matters about the character. That's what I'm more interested in, is the character. I'm not interested in the color. Obviously, I would like to see black people as a whole do better. I think we can do better. It's unfortunate. And now I'm thinking about this. I recognize this lady. I don't know her name, but she had made some comments about Charlie Kirk, which was, to me, highly disgusting. I don't know her name, but pretty much celebrating this man's death. I think that's how I first laid eyes on this lady. I don't know who she is, but I do now think about it. I recognize her name, but I digress. This gentleman is straight speaking facts. Okay, and this is just perspective. You're going to have those people who agree with what he's saying, and then you're going to have other people who agree with what she's saying, and it is what it is. The A's and the O's will never agree. I'm just keeping it real. A nigga and a Negro will never agree, okay? Two different perspectives, and I'll go way in depth with that in another video, because that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But let's finish this up. Send y'all on your way.
You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my God, this is scary. To think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay?
See? Oh, man, I got to see the whole video on this. Because I'm curious to see if she answered that question. She's over there deflecting, talking about mama. Like, nobody cares about that. Answer the question. This gentleman made a straight fact. You had rappers, and this is another thing, right? You have this industry, hip-hop, the culture, that does nothing but it promotes violence. It promotes misogynic ways. It promotes drugs. It promotes everything that the Bible basically preaches against. Okay, and then now on top of that, this gentleman, I'm gonna actually go look this up because I'm actually interested in this. But gentleman just basically asked a straight out question. Hey, explain that to me. If the black culture is promoting this violence, mind you, we as a I won't say we, right? Well, but this culture, right? The rappers, they're getting paid, but they're not getting paid as much as the labels are. So imagine that. So you're a rapper, you're promoting this violence, you're promoting these acts, etc. Right? You're getting paid. Somebody's writing you a check, and that person's getting paid way more than you are. And in exchange for their money, you're actually degrading your people. Okay, you're talking crazy. It's honestly like it's a weird paradox to me, right? So you have a rapper who may rap about drugs and money and women, etc., and then they say, okay, well, I'm gonna go help the hood. And it's like, how are you going to help the hood and try to do good when you're over here promoting bad, right? And you're promoting talking to women, acting weird, acting out women, turning them out, all kinds of weird stuff. Then you're talking about killing and violence, right? So you're trying to say, hey, I'm doing good, but over here you're actually doing bad. Again, you can't get sweet and bitter water from the same bottle. Okay, period. The tree cannot bear bitter and sweet fruit. It has to be one or the other. So, that's just my opinion on this. This is actually interesting. I'm gonna go look at this. I gotta get this lady's name because she bugging. She's straight bugging right now. But hope y'all enjoyed that. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Okay, let me know what you think. I'm curious. Do you think the brother on the right is right, or has some points, or do you think the sister on the left has some points? I think this is good. That at the end of the day, though, that they're sitting down, we're sitting down, we're talking about it, and we're having actual conversations. Okay, this is my idea of like what they call black excellence stuff. Let's have some actual mindful debates. Let's have some articulation and get to the root of these things, right? And agree on something, whether we agree to disagree or agree on certain points. But it's good to come out here and actually have some conversation. But till the next video, peace.